In our previous video, we got our data displaying to screen and iterating from our JSON file. As we said though, it would be nice if we could reverse the order of the images and text for each subsequent row, just as we did in our initial setup. We could actually do this quite easily, because when we create a for loop using the Jinja templating language, it also creates an object for us called loop. That loop object has a property which is .index. This shows us exactly which iteration of the loop we're on. If I just put it in there as an expression and reload the page, you can see that the first iteration, so number 1, is Thorin, and number 2 is Keely and Feely, and so on and so forth, until the very end of the loop, which is the number 13 for Gandalf. We can actually move this loop.index and put it into our member.name h3 tags. I will just add a dot after the index number to separate it from the member's name. This now gives us a nice numbered list of all the members of Thorin's company. But we can do more than this. We can actually check this value to see where we are in the for loop itself. What we are going to do is put an if statement. Just like with for loops, if statements in our templates go between curly brackets and percentage notation because they are logic. Immediately after the opening .featurette row, let's add curly bracket percentage if loop.index modulo 2 is not equal to 0 percentage closing curly bracket. Then I will add the endif line before the closing div tag. This is to let the Jinja templating language know where to stop the if statement. I'm just going to indent everything within the if statement to make our code cleaner and easier to read logically. Let's discuss what this if statement will do. If our loop.index is not divisible by 2 evenly, then we want to display that member to the page. Essentially, we are looking for odd numbers, since any odd number, modulo 2, will never result in 0. I will save that and reload the preview to see what effect that has on our page at the moment. As you can see, we only have any member with an odd loop index number displaying on the page now. Next, we want to get all of the even rows to display with the text on the left and the image on the right. What we can do is put an else statement, and this will take care of any even rows. Inside of our else statement, any loop.index that is even will be displayed within this section. Again, I want to start by showing the image on the left, so let's copy the code from above and paste it in our else statement. Then, we want the text to be on the right, so we'll copy the code from above again and paste that below our image. This will now display the text on the left and image on the right if it's an odd loop.index number, 1, 3, 5, etc. But it will display the image on the left and the text on the right if it's an even loop.index number, 2, 4, 6, etc. Let's save that and reload the page to check it's working. Yep, as you can see, it's behaving as expected, with each row alternating left and right, which gives us a much nicer layout. One thing you may have noticed though is that we still have this horizontal rule at the very end underneath Gandalf as well, which looks a bit messy. What we can do is once again use another if statement to take care of that. Let's wrap our HR tag inside of its own if clause. We know that we have 13 elements in our loop, so what we need is curly bracket percentage if loop.index is not equal to 13 percentage closing curly bracket. Then display the horizontal rule. Don't forget to close off our endif line below that and hit tab to properly indent the HR element as well. When I reload the page, as you can see, the horizontal rule has disappeared, but only after the 13th item in our for loop, and it looks a lot cleaner. But what happens if we have dozens of items in our loop and we're not sure the exact number of elements inside of that loop? Well, the Jinja templating language actually has a lot of built-in filters that we could use. The full documentation for Jinja can be found at jinja.paletsprojects.com. Once there, under the section for Template Designer documentation is a list of built-in filters. There's a lot of really fun and useful stuff here that we can use to improve our code. But for now, I'm just interested in length. We can update our if statement to check if loop.index is not equal to loop.length. Then show the HR divider. Let's see what that looks like. That's working perfectly now, and we have the HR divider for all of the items except for the final loop.index item without having to know the exact number of items in our loop. In this series of videos, we've looked at how to get data from the backend displayed through onto the front end. We've also seen how using features of the Jinja templating language can help us write less HTML by using variables and logic such as for loops and if-else statements. Next, we are going to have a look at how to create forms and then some advanced routing techniques.